Welcome to Okon Bros. This is Eric.
I'm Michael, and if you want to learn about the secrets of the universe, the law of attraction, mysticism, brohood, gambling, movies, pop culture, archangels, magic, good food, business, health, family, and mediumship, smash that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, press the noti icon, and spread this video around like butter on a New York bagel.
Love it. So today we have on Andrew Kap, author of the best-selling book, The Last Law of Attraction Book You'll Ever Need to Read. He also runs a YouTube channel under his name, Andrew Kap, where he talks all things law of attraction. Thank you for coming on, Andrew.
Eric and Michael, thank you so much for having me. I'm really pumped to be here, and I have a special, I was saying before we hit the record button, a special affinity for Michael, just because I'm well aware of his law of attraction book, Just Ask the Universe. And
thank you.
I'm just gonna say out the gate, I was so impressed by the way that book was presented, because I was saying, while I have a positive viewpoint of all law of attraction authors, I do, to be candid, think that some of them don't, even if they know the topic, they don't understand how to convey it in a user-friendly way that will get the reader to take action. And Michael, your book is one of the few that I've read where I say, no, Mike gets it. Mike understands what this person is going through. He understands that they need to be inspired and motivated and take it upon themselves, and they need an open, welcome invitation and an open door. So I just want to give you respect and props and say that your book was very, very impressive to me in that regard.
I really appreciate that, and I'm really happy Selena connected us. You know, that the idea, people confuse the law of attraction with something is hard, and your book, I mean, you basically took the ideas of everything that, like, you know, you can compile about Just Ask the Universe, and you literally wrote the last law of attraction book you'll ever need to read, because it's the truth. And you make it so simple, and that's what I did with Just Ask the Universe. You have to, getting things you want is not hard. And I want to hear, you know, Eric, if you want to start with your question, because you had a really interesting question to begin with.
Sure. What was your aha moment where you're like, this stuff really works?
So it was like an aha month. And for, you know, everyone obviously has their own doorway into this. I learned about this probably 20 years ago. 17, 20 years ago, when
you were 5 or something, when you were 5 years old.
I'm actually I'm in my 40s. I know I have a way of, the hat keeps me looking young, but I'm in my 40s, so I go back a little bit here.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, I learned about law of attraction just as kind of like a means to let me look into some positive modality that's going to help me improve my sales and my business and my life and that kind of thing. And it sort of made sense, but it never seemed to be consistent. And I would later find out that I was the one who was being inconsistent. And, you know, I would have my successes and my failures, and I would just go about my life, still on board with it, but nothing quite happening. And then 2008, I had this really rough week where I lost my company and a 3-year relationship all in the same week. And when I say I lost that relationship, it didn't even blow up in a one-on-one conversation. She texted me. She broke up over text. She's like, this is done. So rough week. I feel like 90% of my life is done. And I'm at that moment of like, what do I do now? And I don't even know how or why this happened. I just had this epiphany that, well, that law of attraction thing kind of worked whenever I started to do it. And I'm just stubborn and indignant enough now. Maybe I can just go all in with this thing. And when I say all in, I understood human nature. I can't do all day, every day. I know I'll burn out, but I can do 5 or 10 minutes a day of gratitude methods that I've learned and visualization methods I learned. And the things that happened in the time to follow was miraculous. Like within 2 weeks, I felt better, which is saying a lot with a broken heart. Within 3 months, I'm in a brand new, healthier relationship. I'm over my ex. Within 4 months, I'm making way more money than ever before in my life before then. And within 6 months, everything's different. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm waking up happy and fulfilled. And I didn't learn from a book or from a video or from someone else. I learned from my own life experience that even if the law of attraction isn't real, maybe it's something else, whatever this thing is, it works when you work it. And law of attraction is the best way that I can come to describing it and understanding it and implementing it in my life. And it was only years later that I decided to write a book about it. Like when that happened, I wasn't going to write a book. And it only became a thing where, 8-9 years later, I'm like, well, I want to do something new in my business. What can I do where I'm not going to be bored? To be candid, I'm not going to be bored by my customer. I'm going to be excited and happy interacting with them and answering questions and hopefully giving value. And I've kind of been riding that wave ever since. So I might have answered 5 of your questions there, Eric.
No, it's fine. It opened up more questions. So what do you do now that's fulfilling for you? You know, because like writing a book is more of a labor of love.
Yes.
Than anything else, and it gives notoriety, which is also good. Just like, you know, having a podcast or a YouTube channel or something like that. But you know, what pays the bills these days? That's fulfilling.
So the book itself is doing well. I'm not going to complain about that, and I'm building up my YouTube channel. And I still, you know, for a few people on the side, I'll do, you know, marketing consulting and copywriting based on my old business. But a lot of it, I'm really leaning into the book, just because for me, it's fulfilling. It is paying the bills. It's doing its
amazing.
thing. I'm not going to complain. And obviously there are different standards of an independent person versus someone that's like a big publisher. Like, I just looked at my numbers last week and I realized that I surpassed 50,000 books sold since you know, the end of 2019.
It's amazing.
Which for me is like mind blowing. Like, how cool is that 50,000 unique souls checked this book out and, you know, and hopefully enjoyed it. So yeah, for the most part, the fulfilling part is working on the YouTube channel. And honestly, not to blow smoke, talking to awesome people like you and having these kinds of conversations, because I know that there are people listening to this episode and all the other ones that you guys do, and they are really gleaning value from it. So
you self-published, Andrew, you self-published it?
Yes. Yeah, this was just me. And I broke a lot of rules with it, and I designed the cover myself. I laid it out. I did
genius. I gotta tell you one. You know, I'm gonna give you constructive criticism. You don't have you don't have your name on it.
Yeah, you know what? And I don't agree. I don't disagree with your criticism.
I know your answer though. I know what your answer is going to be. But go ahead. I want to hear this.
Well, my answer is going to be like, it's such a long title, and book covers on Amazon look so small. I didn't want anything to detract from it, and also, and this might be what you're thinking the answer is going to be, not to try to crawl on your head, but I almost felt like the title itself was enough. I just want
100%, 100%, and the idea that you know,
anything goes these days
with LOA, especially, Eric. Yes. And the idea that the last law of attraction book you'll ever need to read, it's kind of like the Bible by, you know, Johnny Joe. Like, it's the Bible, right? It's not the Bible by Johnny Joe. It's the Bible. Your book is the last law. It's you're stating your case.
It was a brilliant brilliant idea not to put your name on the cover, because
you don't come off as like a crazy Eddie. I don't know if you're an 80s kid from Long Island, but like there was a guy named Crazy Eddie, like,
I remember Crazy Eddie.
Yeah. You know, like you don't come off as all salesy. You come off as, this is the book you're going to need to change your life. And it's not by me. Look at what I can do. My name is this. I mean, your freaking pictures. I mean, my picture's not on Just Ask the Universe, and it was my alias that I used. And you know, I love the idea that you're not, it's not a sales pitch. This is the book. And if you want to change your life, it doesn't matter who it was written by, because it's for everybody.
You mentioned that you're in marketing, or that you did marketing and whatnot. Are you on TikTok yet?
I'm not, and the reason I'm not is just because I haven't sorted out a way to really do something big with it.
Just be you.
Yeah.
just be you. I made a 5-second clip this morning, and inside of a few hours, it got 10,000 views.
Wow. You
are sleeping on the job. It is a law of attractions, gurus platform. You're I'm telling you, you just be yourself. Don't take what you do on YouTube and make it into 60-second clips, 15-second clips, 10-second clips, 5-second clips. It is a phenomenal platform for organic growth, and people are there, and they will subscribe to your show. They will download your book. And we've seen that firsthand. One of my posts got 2.3 million views.
Wow.
And you know the YouTube game. YouTube is hard.
Yes.
YouTube is really, really hard. TikTok is easy.
I think I'm going to have to do that. I think I'm going to follow you and check out your style and see if I can learn from the best. That's very impressive.
Yeah, you don't need anything special. You don't need anything special. You just have to, the way I'm doing it is I like to tell a little story, and it has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And it's like anything. You guys are writers. You know how that works. You have to have a punchline, and then you have to, come out with something. Not all of them succeed, but it's an amazing platform.
Okay.
Andrew, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
How long did it take you to write this book?
Well, there's two answers. One is, 16 years of experience, but the other is after a month of mapping out kind of what I want to do, 9.5 weeks.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's amazing. It took me 3 weeks for Jatu. I bought the website first. I wanted to buy Ask the Universe, and Ask the Universe was sold out. And I bought Just Ask the Universe, and I was like, that's the name of the book. And it was all through Amazon. And
Yeah,
Amazon,
isn't it funny how like sometimes decisions that we have to make are better? Like I think it's a way better title too.
100%. 100%. What were the 5 books that changed your life regarding the law of attraction?
So first book, it wasn't even a law of attraction book, but it did open the book that opened the window for me, just in terms of when you think good things happen, was a book by Shad Helmstetter called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself.
Interesting. I haven't heard of that one yet.
It's a really, the book, it goes, again, it's not law of attraction, but it explains how the human mind works, how we program,
Sure.
and how our subconscious mind will unfold. Like me, I've obviously, I wrote a law of attraction book. I view the universe and vibration, these are real things, but I think that they operate in concert with how our subconscious mind operates, so that it's one big web of harmony and things happening. That was a big book for me.
Mm-hmm.
Think and Grow Rich, because again, this was just opening the door. Everyone knows, by Napoleon Hill. As a Man Thinketh.
You're great. You're talking classics here, dude.
Yeah, I think James Allen was that one.
Yeah.
I would tell you this: if I had not already had, and I'm not blowing smoke. If I had not already had my epiphany moment, yours would be on that list.
Oh man,
the only reason yours is not on that list is because I already had my understanding of like, this works when you work it. But right. I would put your book up there in the top ones.
I really appreciate that. You don't have to. I mean, like I appreciate that, but
yeah, and I mean it. Like I wouldn't say it because listen, I'm on your show. I'm here no matter what. I'm not saying it just because like I want to flatter. But I do think, again, I don't praise a lot of the law of attraction books. Again, not because they're not good, just because people understand. I do want to rank yours on top. I really think it's legit, and people will find out later. I invited you to be on my YouTube channel because I want to talk to you about it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And another book. This came after my epiphany moment, but I do love Rhonda Byrne's The Magick, just because I think it does such a good job of walking people through gratitude, which to me, gratitude is like this weird secret hack, because we've heard gratitude, we pay lip service to it in the law of attraction space, which
100%.
almost makes it a fad, which almost makes it something that you look over. But I think if people really understood the power of gratitude and really implemented it from a place of intentionality, that's everything. That's the whole ball game. You don't even have to know how the universe works. You don't have to know how vibration works. If you can instill gratitude in your day for even just 5 minutes a day, momentum will occur. And then all of a sudden, more will come. There'll be inspired action. There'll be things. But that foundation of 5 minutes of gratitude is the world. So I rank that book up there.
Amazing.
Have you read The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace
I have.
Wattles?
It's so funny. I bought, they have like this original first edition where they kind of reproduced exactly how it was. And I bought that for, just because it was cool to read it in the original format. But yeah, I'm well aware of that one. And I remember that one also kind of put a spotlight on, the importance of gratitude. And of course, The Secret was there also. The secret's automatically, right?
The secret's like saying like, I love Marvel. Yeah. Right? Like Marvel's the greatest like movie thing, the movie series of all time. Like all the Marvel movies are great. And like, you have to love Marvel if you're a movie fan, right? No one's ever said, I don't like Marvel. Like everyone loves The Secret, right? But there are movies in there that there are books in there that change your life. The Secret changed my life, but you kind of level up.
It was the tip of the iceberg.
It was the tip of the iceberg, right? I love the words leveling up. Like you level up your game when you go, fudge. Okay, so The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. I don't know if you've read The Power of Your Subconscious Mind.
I have. And by the way, it's so funny. You'll start asking me books, and I'm going to start to look up and start to nod, because I went through a period where I read so much. It's all jumbled in there, which I guess 100%. Speaks more well of those books that really stand out, that they managed to do it in the sea of everything I was going through.
Right. I want to stick with the theme on books for a minute, Eric. Were there books that you hated about LOA? Because I have my list, and I look at the authors and I'm like, this is fluff, this is baloney, I don't like what they're doing here? Were there books, and we don't have to badmouth anyone, but are there books where you're like, I'm not buying this?
Yeah, well, I don't, funnily enough, I don't remember the authors or the titles. I just remember like stopping reading, like, okay,
Yes.
this is empty. It's an empty shell.
Yeah.
I've noticed books where it's very clear to me that they're regurgitating something that they don't understand from an internal insight.
100%. Yes.
And I mean, some of them, by the way, some of them, they're not, it's like they're not even scam artists. They don't even realize that they're doing it. They're just like caught up in the moment. But what they don't realize is they're not offering legitimate value, because in my view, when you can't speak from insight and life experience and catch yourself in your own BS as you're describing it,
Yes.
you cannot articulate effectively the words and thoughts that you need to, that's going to facilitate a better reaction and a positive response from the reader. And I know that was a word salad there, but it's really important for people to realize that there's some good and there's some bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
What were some cool wins that you had with law of attraction where you're like, I asked for this and it happened?
So, well, it's
Great
weird
question.
because even right now it's happening. In my book, and Michael, you might remember this from the book, where I gave an example of scripting where I talked about like all the 4 and 5 star reviews that I got. And I joke with people, I never should have talked about 4-star. I only should have put 5-star in there, because like 11% of my book is 4-star. And I feel like that could have gone to the 5-star thing. So it sounds funny, Eric, but that's one of the things. In the past, believe it or not, in a negative way, I knew, I feel like I created my girlfriend breaking up with me, probably not in quite a horrible way, but I felt it coming. It was a long time coming. I felt the vibe. I invited that. Law of attraction, it could be good or bad depending on how you focus.
Correct.
And but you asked for wins. The only other piece is, and this is before I even realized law of attraction, I got myself an internship with the then, to date myself, World Wrestling Federation, then WWF.
Wow.
Where I was up against probably 800 other applicants, and I just knew it was me, and I cut through everything else like a knife, like a hot knife through butter. And it wasn't anything special. I just showed up, I gave value, but in every word that I said to that human resources person, I felt like the job was mine, and I believe that had an impact in the outcome.
100%. There's a knowing when LOA is like, it always works.
When you're on fire. When you're on fire. Yeah.
There's 100% aspect of LOA. You just reminded me of something, and it was this knowing. I was obsessed with the band Korn in the late 90s. I think you and I are around the same age. I was obsessed with Korn. They hold a very special place in my heart. I've kind of moved on from there. But Tower Records was coming out with, they were launching Issues. You remember? I don't know if you're a Korn guy or whatever.
I remember their video Freak Unleashed, because I was a big Todd McFarlane guy. So
okay, well, there you go. Exactly. So they were releasing Issues, and they were releasing the 4 CDs in a framed Korn poster, and you had to go at midnight to Tower Records, and you had to submit your name, and it was me versus, and I'm just putting out a number, 100 Korn fans, and I submitted my number and I put it in. And the drawing was at midnight. It was like 11:30 at night. And, Eric, I don't think you were with me, right?
I wasn't with you, but
right. Okay. But I submitted it. I handed it in, and midnight came, and they were going through the numbers, and literally it was like a bingo thing. Like they were like, moving the papers around, and they picked up this piece of paper. As soon as they picked up the paper, I was a mile away. I mean, I couldn't see what they were doing. I said, I won this thing. I got it. I got it. And they read my name, and I still have that framed Korn, CD set. And I met the drummer of Korn, I don't know, a few months later, and I asked him to sign a piece of paper, and I put this guy, the drummer David, and I put it in this frame thing. But there's a knowing with LOA. There's a knowing that like this is going to work out. This is going to be, and there's a knowing of saying this is not the path I should be on right now.
Yes. And to slightly switch gears, because you're talking about something that, for many people, it feels elusive. That knowing feels elusive because they want the love of their life and they want that job of their dreams. And they're like, well, and they judge themselves because like they don't have the knowing. Like, well, what do I do? So just to switch gears with that in mind, because sometimes people don't have that gift of just diving in. This is where I personally go back to gratitude. I believe that if you put gratitude into your day every single day, the knowing will kind of it'll rise up. It'll emerge in the right moment for people when they are inviting it through that energetic shift.
Right.
our journey on our show on our YouTube channel, it's been a spiritual journey. And we never realized how much spirituality and law of attraction kind of
They're married.
they're married to each other in a very, very big way. And we've actually started, and we've been speaking about it a lot, but we've been starting to experiment and work with archangels.
You stole the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah,
Andrew.
no, I mean, I definitely know I wanted.
We're gonna
to go
level
there,
you up. We're gonna level you up right now, Andrew.
I'm ready. Let's do this.
We're gonna level you up. Go ahead. Eric.
which I'm thinking about, Michael. You may have to write a book about this.
I already have the title. It's called Just Ask the Archangels. All right. It's Just
Yeah.
Ask the Universe. This is Just Ask the Archangels.
Please grab that .com right now, my friend.
You know what? I should.
We
So
should.
I want to give you a heads up on this, and this is not to detract from LOA because it's all connected. We lost our father 3 years ago, and before he passed, our father was very spiritual. He read Wallace Wattles, he read Joseph Murphy, he read The Secret, and he believed in the law of attraction. We said, because we knew he was passing away, we knew like his time was coming to an end. And we said, Dad, when you get over there, wherever there is, we don't remember what it's like, but we know it's there. You got to teach us the secrets of the universe, because we want to know if this LOA thing is not just kind of wishful thinking, right? Which I know it's not, but we kind of want to know, like, what's it like on the other side?
Mhm.
And he came through and he said, LOA is real. It's all real. It's the thoughts are things, the whole nine yards.
Manifest your future.
Manifest your future. He came through the whole 9 yards. And then he came through one session. I'm going to blow your mind right now, Andrew. And he says, LOA is real. He says, but so are the archangels. I'm like, is this my father? And like this guy who was doing the medium reading is like the gold standard for
Because
mediumship.
we're not spiritual people. We're not religious people.
We're not exactly. We're not
Yeah.
religious. We're very spiritual people. And he says, you have to start asking the archangels, because that's like LOA. If LOA is elementary school, and I'm not belittling LOA because LOA is the foundation for my life.
Yeah.
If LOA is elementary school, the archangels are PhD. You have to look into archangels. They are on tap for the slightest prayer.
It's the source of law of attraction.
Correct.
Mm.
Correct.
I'm
So
intrigued.
it's
Very intrigued.
insane. I have the book right here. I'm going to plug this. This is not my book, but this book changed our life. This is direct from heaven. This is direct from my father, who said, you go buy this book right now. It's called The 72 Angels of Magick. All right. It's not demonic or anything, but it's The 72 Angels of Magick by this guy, Damon Brand. This will change your life.
Cool.
If the last law of attraction book you'll ever read it will take you to here. It'll take you to the archangels. You will manifest quicker. You will be in touch with these beings that I'm Michael Samuels. All right. Like I wrote the book on the universe, like you wrote the book on the universe. Like we are in touch. We are in tune. We're brothers for life. This archangel shit is real. And it's scary how fast it works. I mean,
I'm not to open a door where I'll have you stuck for 2 hours. Just curious, is this a thing where you are aware of their names and who they are and what they represent, and you just ask? Is that
legit? That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
that's it.
There's a formula. There's a time of day. There's a time of week that you kind of have to do these things according to Damon Brand's book. Of course, there's variations depending upon who you speak to, but it's all generally the same idea.
Mhm.
And
scary.
It's scary the way it works. And then that brought us into, we started interviewing people who've experienced near-death experiences. And then we would ask them about law of attraction, and then we would ask them about archangels, and they're like, no, you just bypass that and you just pray to be part of the one and the light. And they're like, once you do that, and gratitude and happiness was always what they were after, always what they wanted. And they're like, if you just pray to that, law of attraction just comes to you. Really is. It's such and
the law of attraction is a spectrum, Andrew. That's what I've learned about this, that it's not just like, people go, I get emails from people all the time. I asked and nothing happened. It's like, I asked and nothing happened. What do you say to people like that?
So, well, first of all,
I read your book and I didn't get the girlfriend I wanted. You're full of shit. What do you, I get those emails every day.
Right. So here's what I answer. And it's never in that part specifically. Although I will say it's really funny. One person told me one time that they were quitting law of attraction. And I wrote back, I'm like, that's nice and everything, but what you probably mean is you're quitting whatever routine of processes you're putting yourself through in order to invite law of attraction. You can't quit it. You can't quit oxygen. You can't quit gravity. But okay.
100%.
But to answer your question, Michael, when people come to me about that, I'd say, all right, let's take an example. Let's take that job promotion that you want. And you've been thinking about every single day. Andrew, Michael, you guys are saying you think about this thing every single day and it's supposed to come. Well, where's my job promotion? And I say, okay, when you're thinking about this job promotion, are you thinking about it from a sense of impatience and frustration and uncertainty and doubt and anger? Or are you thinking about it in terms of anticipation and gratitude and joy and enthusiasm? Because what they don't realize is when they are thinking of something with impatience and frustration, they are not thinking about the thing. They are thinking
100%.
about the lack of the thing and reinforcing that.
100%. 100%. You've spoken about The Miz. I loved your video on The Miz.
Thank you.
My son and I are massive wrestling fans. We've kind of slowed down now because he's all about Fortnite now. So like we haven't been watching as much. So my wife and I are watching the Bellas at night. So like I still am in touch with Daniel Bryan and whatnot. But you did a thing on The Miz, and Mike was on The Real World, and he acted the part of a wrestler. He was a Real World cast, and I love The Real World. I grew up on The Real World
back when it was good.
Back when it was good, right? I think it's over now. I think it's now Jersey Shore, and that's it. You know,
I don't know.
I'm surprised we actually said the name Jersey Shore on this show. We should start. We should talk more about that. But The Miz lived the character, and the character manifested. What do you say about living the life of your dreams and having it? Do you believe in that?
Yeah, and well, so. And again, this goes back to, are you thinking about something with frustration and impatience, or are you thinking about something with anticipation? I think that whole fake it till you make it thing, it's a very delicate line to cross, because when you're doing it, are you doing it with the sense of this is bringing me what I want? Or are you doing it with the sense that I am trying to pull the wool over the eyes of the universe? I think wherever you're at, wherever your intent and your vibe is, it's going to inform. So in other words, if you can engage in a process of almost like rehearsing the life of your dreams, and you're doing it from a place of enthusiasm, and you're also doing it from a place of, this doesn't have to happen right now, this could happen a month from now, I'm perfectly willing to wait an extra month for the girl of my dreams to show up, like, or I'm perfectly willing for the universe to give me a job other than the one I wanted without me realizing that it's a shorter commute and a bigger pay raise. You know, it's like, I think when you do this, it can be very powerful, as long as you're not trying to force it, as long as you're not viewing, I think sometimes people view the universe as this this stingy rich person who's scared to dole things out to them. You know what I mean? And when they come from that perspective, they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot. But when you come from the perspective of, I know you're in my corner, I know you're conspiring on my behalf. Now hearing this new information, I know the Archangels are almost begging me to ask them for stuff so that 100%. They can bring abundance to me. I will engage in that way, and I will do whatever I can to just enjoy the moment in the meantime and not force these requirements. And it has to be this fixed time. It has to be this fixed way, because I don't know the answer to everything. I had another video where I was talking about like how you attract the perfect mate. And there might be this one person that you really want. And I'd say, don't focus on them. Focus about the qualities of them that you want, because for all you know, you don't want them, because they will come with a bunch of other qualities that are in contradiction with your personality. Whereas the universe knows another person who has all the positive qualities of this person and none of the negative ones. That's an even better match for you.
That was mind blowing. That like I read that in Wallace Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich, where he says, when you ask for something, a person you have never met in your life, that you've never heard of in your life, will come into your life to give you the thing you want. You have to give them something in return. You can't get something for nothing. Yes. And I wrote that and Just Ask the Universe, that like, and that has happened time and time and time again. I'm a published author. I've written books, I've written novels, and there's this trajectory going on with my writing career that I'm hoping is going to turn into something much bigger from what it is. But it takes years, man. And like, people don't have patience. Like, I love when people go, I've been asking for it for 6 months. I'm like, I've been asking to make my book into a movie for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
we've been working every single day on this show, every single day, and it is a mountain to climb. Yes. And I also wanted to add that you can ask for anything, you can wish for anything, you can act the part, but if you're not going to work it, you're not going to get anything. You can't just sit there and expect magic to happen.
Yeah, what do you think about
sometimes it does, But if you really want something, like your book wouldn't have been written if you didn't write it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have changed people's lives if you were just on the couch going, the universe is just going to give me everything I want.
Yes.
You know, I've met people time and time again who are like, I don't know, it's not working. I'm like,
where's your universe now?
Oh my God. That was my favorite thing. And you know what? That started at the beginning of the pandemic. We're coming, I believe we're coming towards the end of the pandemic now. And what someone came to me at the beginning and said to me, where's your universe now? When the riots were happening and the pandemic was going on and you know, all the horrible things that was 2020. And I said, the universe never left, dude. It's still here. This is just a test to see how we're going to react. That was the best I could come up with. What do you say to people who go, where's your universe now?
Yeah. Well, there's so many things that come to mind. I mean, one thing is, first of all, I don't pretend to know everything. So, for example, I don't pretend to know why we're all here, but I am operating under the assumption that there's some agreement where we are in this mass mix of mass consciousness.
Yep.
Now, you have power and potency and agency within that to bring things about, but by that same token, you're still part of this mass consciousness. So if there's a mass event that you're getting pulled into, it is what it is, but it doesn't mean all hope is lost and doesn't mean that you can't do things. There are people in the pandemic whose businesses have skyrocketed. There are people who've responded in kind and they changed their live events to virtual events, and all of a sudden they can bring in more customers. Like, there's so many different ways. But I also tell people, like, listen, whatever's going on here, you still have agency. And you also, I always viewed, and I was saying this in 2020, it's like a slingshot year. Like right now, or 2020, the rubber band was getting pulled back further and further.
Brilliant.
And further and further.
That is brilliant.
When there's that release point, and again, this is my belief, and maybe I'm just optimistic about this, but I think we're on the same wavelength, like this
100%.
pandemic to the ending. When this releases, I think there are events that are going to take place that are going to blow people's minds. And in terms of improving our lives on a mass consciousness level, but also improving our lives on an individual level, people's lives are going to get way better in ways they don't realize. And I do not wish pain or suffering on anyone, but I would say that I've had situations where I was pushed out of a job, for example, that opened me up to so many bigger possibilities. And I still resent these certain people and the way they acted and maybe made that choice. But by that same token, I have to thank the fact that it happened enough to get me out of my own way and out of that situation. There are certain things where, listen, I'm not going to pretend like this is fun, but we can use this as an opportunity to bring something better into our own personal experience. And also, you know, to give you a long-winded answer to everyone around us, like, you know, in these times when you're really going down, obviously, you know, money's money, food's food, shelter's shelter, but it just in terms of if you're staying afloat and you're just upset or depressed or down, what can you do in service to others? Because when you take the focus off of yourself, if you have the resources to serve other people, it will lift you up. A rising tide, you know, raises all ships. We've heard all that. Yep. The last thing I want to be is a billionaire in a world in ruins, because if I'm a billionaire in a world in ruins, I can't go to my favorite pizza spot. I can't date all the models going to all the great events because they're all closed down and the models are out of, you know what I mean? It's like, you want to raise the world around you. And if you focus on doing that, you might be actually really shocked at how quickly and easily things get better while we're waiting for the mass consciousness to get this improvement as well.
You know, I want to tell you something. I read a book, and I'm not going to say who the author is because he's a pretty prominent author, but in one of my top 5 books/authors of where I closed it going, I'm done, I'm not going to read this guy. He's like, I want to be a billionaire. And it's like, this is what you're doing. This is, you know, like, yeah, everyone on earth wants to be a billionaire. I know billionaires, and they sacrifice so much to become a billionaire. They didn't use the law of attraction to become a billionaire. The guy worked his ass off, and he sacrificed everything to attain that goal. And here I have this law of attraction author, and he's, you know, flippantly, I want to be a billionaire. What does that mean? What does that even mean? What are you going to do? So you're going to have unlimited money? So what does that even mean? And it was so shallow, and it was so wrong. Everybody wants to be a billionaire, like, you know, but like, you don't just say, I want to be a billionaire. It's so silly, and it's so amateurish. Reach goals that are attainable, right? Reach goals. Do you tell people anyone could be a billionaire?
I don't verbally say that. I call it within the realm of possibility, but I don't focus on that. I focus more on fulfillment in whatever
Right.
way. And again, just to get a little personal, like I'm never going to put a cap. I don't see myself becoming a billionaire. But I'm not going to put a cap on it. But by that same token, it's like in the world we are in today, 30 million's plenty. You know what I mean? I think if I got 30 million, I've got more than enough. Like I don't need to own a sports team. I don't need 20 different locations. Like me. Honestly, I would love a place in Maui, and I'd love a place in San Diego. I love a place, someplace in Florida, New York. Like, but I don't need that stuff. I think it's more important to be happy and fulfilled in the day to day. I think there's people that they have their dog with them that's been with them for years that brings them so much joy. They're getting so much more fulfillment in their days than a billionaire who's stressed out, who's always worried about security. He's worried about blackmail. He's worried about corporate espionage and all these other crazy things that most people don't even think about. You become a billionaire, you got to think about the other side of things. Like
it's not about money. I'm a big disciple of Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't know if you know Gary.
Yeah, I'm aware of Gary.
I'm a huge disciple of him, and he says something where he's like, you have to love the process.
Yes,
not the end game. If you're gonna go after, if you say I'm gonna be happy once I have $1 million in the bank, you have to love the process of getting that $1 million. You have to love, like when your book got clicked on Amazon, when you clicked live, your life didn't change.
Right, it didn't.
It didn't change. It what happened was, okay, now I got to sell this thing.
I got to start my YouTube channel. I got to start promoting this thing.
New challenge. It's a new challenge.
Right.
And Eric, yourself. Some of the four worst words you can put together is "I'll be happy when."
Exactly. Someday I'm gonna be a billion. It doesn't work, man. The journey's now.
Yeah.
It's Eric and I are grinding out this podcast. We don't think this is work. This to us is fun. Is it considered work? Absolutely. Are we generating revenue? Yes. Is it enough to pay for lunch? Not even close.
$3 a day.
Yeah, it's $3 a day. And Eric's taking it. I just said to Eric, just take the $3 and
no, it's going into our company, Michael.
It's going into the company. Exactly. But obviously that was a joke, but like it is about the journey. It is about, listen, I wrote a best-selling self-help book 10 years ago. Jatu is 10 years old. Just Ask the Universe is 10 years old this year.
Wow. I've
sold over 500,000 copies of that book.
Nice.
In 10 years, I sold over half. I don't have a yacht yet. Okay. All right. The G4 is still on the list, right? The G5 is still on the list.
One of my posts on TikTok got 2.3 million views. You know what changed? Nothing.
Nothing. You have to enjoy the process.
Yes.
Just Ask the Universe elevated me to start writing novels. Writing novels elevated me to get an agent. Getting an agent elevated me to get a manager. Getting a manager got a screenplay writer to turn my book into a movie. I'm still on the journey, bro.
Yeah.
That you wrote this amazing book. You wrote this incredible book. What's next for you? What's next for Andrew Kap? You kind of painting yourself into a corner, I'll be honest.
Yeah, well, it's so funny. I thought about that. I thought there's always a way, but believe it or not, and this almost sounds pretentious, but I wanted to paint myself into that corner because I put this cover up on my computer screen every morning of those 9.5 weeks before I wrote a chapter. I'm like, I really zeroed in. But by the way, like, I don't view that as a corner. Like, listen, for me, I'm
teasing,
channel,
by the way. I'm teasing.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm with you. But the YouTube channel for me is the next level, and podcast, because this is where the cool thing is. I haven't made a very concrete, definitive decision of the next thing right now, but I have recognized that I am in a process and I am in a moment, and I'm so okay and so fulfilled with that. Like the thing about growing my YouTube channel, that might be the thing for the next 2 years, or the next 2 months, or the next 10 years. And I'm trying to take my own medicine and going about this in an easy way. And, obviously being cognizant and being open to new things. I'm going to check out that book, Michael, you told me about. 100%. Eric, I am going to look into TikTok. Like, I'm not going to just sit on my hands and do these things. Yep. But in terms of like what's next, like the big thing, I haven't put myself in that space right now. Like, I'm having so much fun with this book and through the interactions with my readers. I'm just riding that wave and letting it unfold for me. That's the best way I can
I
put it.
will say I'm, an outsider looking into two guys who publish books, and self-publishing is way more fun than getting published. It's way more fun because like our podcast is self-published. Like whatever we do, like we come up with a new idea, we changed our logo on a whim. And just like anything that we wanted to do, once you get over that hump where you have representation,
It changes.
pump the brakes.
It's hard. It's hard. And what you're doing, you're running your own race. You're
I
running
love
your
it.
own speed.
We thought about so many times saying, let's take Michael's books and just go back to self-publishing because it's so much more fun.
Yeah. But the masses, I mean, no, the masses can still know you. It just depends on what your goals are. I mean, what do you want for your book? What do you want? You want to sell 1 million copies? Do you want to be on Oprah? What's, manifest for us, bro?
Yeah. So, well, I haven't a fixed, right now I'm at a point where I do not affix a deadline, but I want to sell 1 million copies and I want 1 million YouTube subscribers. And just so like everyone listening's clear, I don't want that so I can be like, hey, look, I sold 1 million copies. I'm doing it as a guiding Northern Star because that keeps me on this path toward impact. I'm sure when I get 1 million copies, whenever that might be, then I'm like, okay, I guess it's time to go for 2 million.
Exactly
or YouTube subscribers, I guess it's time to go for 10 million. But by that same token, and this I hope people will take to heart listening, if someone can say, hey, Andrew, I'm going to wave a magic wand right now and you're going to have 1 million subscribers tomorrow, I'm going to say, whoa, no. Give me another 20,000 tomorrow, because the current state of my business is I literally respond to all my emails and interact with people. If I got 1 million subscribers overnight, I could not sustain it. So I'm perfectly happy.
Don't go on TikTok then.
Yeah, well,
because it literally could happen. I've gotten on some of my posts, I've gotten tens of thousands of comments. And I'm one of those people. I respond to every single post. I couldn't physically do it.
Got it. Well, I might have to sit. I can't do the comments, but like, and I don't know if doing that on TikTok will result on a lot of readers and then a lot more emails. I guess that's something I have to think about now. But I guess the thing I'm trying to say is like 1 million books is my goal. 1 million YouTube subscribers is my goal, but I'm not in a rush to do it. I'm really content. I mean, as long as the bills are paid, and as pretentious as it sounds to certain people, as long as I'm making a positive impact, I'm golden. I'm all good. We're here. We are. You're talking about like 2020 was so rough for a lot of people. I mean, I did not like being
your
shut
business
in,
exploded. Your business exploded.
And I told myself, listen, as long as I'm locked in here, what can I do intentionally to grow the business? Like, where is my point of power? Where is my agency? And it was right there. So I just chose to make 2020 that year, and now we'll see what 2021 brings us.
You got some great stuff going on, and whatever you're doing, Andrew, is working. And you have a platform with us anytime you need it. I checked out your YouTube channel. You're doing it, man. You're doing, like, I was never into social media when I did Just Ask the Universe. Literally, I hit enter. Eric designed the cover. I wrote the manuscript, uploaded it, married it. I uploaded it 10 years ago. And somehow it got linked up to The Secret, where people who bought The Secret started looking at my book, and then it just took off. And it really, it kind of, it was the basis for my entire writing career. In addition to our family business, we own a global car service. That's our day to day. And, we're doing everything. We're doing the YouTube channel. We're doing everything. And people that say I don't have enough time, everyone has the same 24 hours in a day, and you're utilizing those 24 hours beautifully, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And Eric, nice job on the cover. I didn't know you designed that.
I designed all of his covers.
Eric designed my cover for Monsterland. That's my big novel. It's about a theme park with monsters that's actually being turned into a screenplay right now by an award-winning screenwriter.
Oh, that's so awesome.
We'll talk about that on your show. I don't want this to be about me. But
forward to. And real quick, Eric, are you a graphic designer? Because this is some like
I studied that in college. Yeah.
You know your stuff. I mean, from the outside looking in, man, you know your stuff. I love it.
Yeah. No, yeah. I actually copied the Jurassic Park, the first Jurassic Park book.
Can't really see it, but yeah.
If the first Jurassic Park book is the Tyrannosaurus Rex, black skeleton, black bones on a white cover. So
nice.
I took a page from that, but
negative space, it works, right?
Yeah.
we're gonna sign off, but before we go, I want you to hang on, Andrew, because I want to talk to you more. Sure. Everyone, please, Andrew, plug away. Where can people find you? Where can they buy your book? talk about your YouTube channel, plug away everywhere you are.
Thank you. So, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. This has been a wonderful conversation. So awesome, by the way, that two brothers are doing this kind of thing. So cool. If people want to check out my book, they can just go to lastlawofattractionbook.com, and that'll auto forward to the Amazon listing. So you can get it in Kindle, paperback, or Audible. And if you don't want to pull out your wallet, that's cool. You can go to youtube.com/Andrew Kap. And Michael, thank you for being a viewer. Obviously, Michael's checked out some of the videos, and I'm looking to add some more in the month ahead. And we did not experience it in this interview, but I've got a weird, goofy sense of humor that you guys will check out in the YouTubes as well. So whether it's the book or YouTube, I invite you guys to check either of those links out, and I hope you enjoy the content.
You'll be, Andrew, you're going to be on again. I mean, we're brothers now. I mean, it's not even a question. We have way too much in common.
We've been creating like a YouTube clique, and we all have right around the same followers, but definitely all the same energy. So
we got to introduce you to Suburban Beard. We got to introduce you to Dana in Bangkok. Like, there's a group with Sin's Corner. Like, there's a group of YouTubers that are all in the same boat, and everyone's really, there's such a great community.
Yeah, we all root for each other. And I was just on Idea Studio. He had a live stream where he was live for 6 hours, and he had a bunch of other people on. Michael and I are going to interview all the people that were on his show. So YouTube definitely, it's a tough nut to crack, but
it's a fun community.
It's all about the community.
I'm on board. And thank you. I would love to be back when the time comes. I'm on board, and I'm glad we're all friends now. I'm really looking forward to keeping in touch. And
likewise,
not only sharing our wins, but sharing our insights. I have a funny feeling like we're all going to have different wins that have different insights
100%.
that will benefit the other person to hear that they can take into their business.
100%. And like I said, I want to talk to you about the Archangels off air, but
awesome.
Everybody like, subscribe, leave comments. Everyone go check out Andrew on YouTube and go buy this book. It will change your life. And follow everything Andrew says to do, even though his name is not on the book. He definitely wrote it. So
everybody, we appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.